Alright guys, welcome to a midweek update. I try to keep this as brief as possible. Um First, we'll probably just be going over like the usual 3 or 4 pairs. Excuse me. Well, for the pound, notice that at the beginning of this week we saw a bullish movement to the upside, pushing us further up into the upper end of the channel resistance. That channel resistance would, if we go across to the left here, would have been 142.50 on the daily time frame. If I zoom out so you could get a better picture of it. Now, while it is possible for us to continue bullish, it may not be as probable as us flipping down to the downside and making an effort to touch the lower end of this channel. We may have some ranging for a bit, and also to note that it's the beginning of a new month, so price may set up for later weeks to come. So we kind of need to keep that in mind and look at price action as we get it, and also be aware of the downward potential of this pair, because if we're heading to the lower end of the channel, now mind you, we are in a clear uptrend of higher highs and higher lows, but there is always potential to break the lower end of the trend line that we just need to keep in the back of our heads and keep that in mind. Anything else on this pair? I don't think so. What I wanna do, although I wanna drop to the pound USD on the daily time frame. Now, I know I didn't mention a potential downside bias in this pair in this week's video, and this is probably the primary reason why I'm doing this weekly update. Now, what we need to note is, if we look left, this is currently where price is. If we look left, we could see that there was some potential for price to spike up into 135 flat, 135.10 thereabout, and have a potential sell off. Now on the daily time frame, on this pair we haven't been running in a perfect channel. However, we have been maintaining this. Let's see how far I could get this in. This uptrend line. Let me hide. Right. So we have daily resistance on this end, which is currently potentially trying to act as daily resistance on this end. We have our uptrend line. Now, if this uptrend line is broken, we could potentially see price come down all the way down here into 1.2224. So if we take our box and just bring this across here, yeah. So if we break this downtrend line and clear all these areas of resistance, we would see a clear sell-off down into the lows at 1.22. So just something to note, right? We currently up into some a little tricky area here, especially when we see that this big shooting star after we pushed up into 1.35 thereabout. So we kind of need to be aware of this area of resistance on the daily time frame. Potentially we could sell off into the lower part of this trend line before we get another push up, or if we break the trend line and sell down into this next support down on the daily time frame. Now this won't happen overnight. This is daily time frame, so you kind of need to keep that in mind. But I just wanted to pop into the charts for you all to see the potential and this kind of strong resistance here on the daily time frame. I will drop down into Euro USD, and that should be it for this update. Now, if we look here on the daily time frame as well on Euro USD, we potentially have a mini kind of channel running here where prices kind of, while it's still in an uptrend because it is making higher highs and higher lows, and this push up that we've had on Monday or Tuesday has been the new high because it's higher than the previous high on the daily time frame. There is some potential for us to see some USD weakness, USD strength, Euro weakness, and this could come down and touch the lower end of the trend line and still potentially be in an uptrend. But with this touch of the low end of the trend line, there's always potential for us to break below this trend line, retest, and sell down into possibly 1.13. However, I'm not sure. I mean, we're never sure on what's going to happen, but I just thought that it might be important for me to mention these possibilities so that if things begin to change within the market, y'all could adapt and adjust, right? So we kind of in this channel on Euro USD, so we kind of need to watch out for the potential sells. Not saying that buys couldn't still be valid and we could find support somewhere around here and still push up, but we need to be mindful that if we continue to see this bearish reaction, because this bearish reaction on the forward time frame, which is shooting star on the daily time frame, could mean continued bearish action. And especially because we're in a new month, if you switch to the monthly time frame, remember that because it's a new month, this new month's candle could be potentially coming down to retest down here to push back up for later on in the month. Like, it's a new month, so candles have lower wicks and things like that. So we could just be forming the lower wick on the monthly time frame to further push up. And it's the same thing on all time frames, because if you look in the pound, previous month was extremely bullish. This month could either form a doji candle, or we could be coming down from a lower wick to push back up, or we could be having a reversal for a bearish candle like what we see here, because then it would be on the monthly time frame, that is, still be maintaining lower highs and potentially be selling off to create a lower low. So that's it. Just to keep this in mind, guys. It's just an update to show you all the bearish bias on some of these pairs. So hope this was helpful.